My whole life, I've wanted to make a movie. Ever since I was a little boy, I was fascinated by the world of cinema and the stories they told. And I thought to myself one day, I want that to be me. I want to be the next great filmmaker that will make people laugh, cry, feel different emotions. And I think I've done it. After years of posting videos on YouTube, I think I'm finally ready to move on and become a serious filmmaker. And this video is the one to do it. So please enjoy this video about my life and how I got to be known.
Dame, dame, dame yo, dame yo.
Hello everyone. So today I'm going to be doing, I guess it would be a multimedia update because I've not just got movies here, I've also got some books. So basically, I did one of these, I think it's October, November time. I said I was going to do all the stuff I got for Christmas and stuff I bought, or just before or after Christmas as well. But I had so much stuff that it was going to be a really stupidly long video. I need to stop spending so much money on this hobby of mine, I'm afraid. But I'm getting better at it. But yeah, so in the part, and I kept buying stuff, and so by the time it would have been a really stupidly long video. But I've got some things over the past month that I felt like talking about, so I'm going to do another update and try and do these more regularly. I say that every time. I never do, but I'm going to try. And I also got a new TV recently. This is a Hisense Roku 50-inch. My previous TV was a Hisense, but it wasn't a very good one. I got it second hand. It was an older model. It wasn't that good, and it was 43-inch. This one's bigger and it has more apps, and the picture's a little bit better too. Not the best HDR for a 4K TV. It's pretty good for a budget TV, the HDR, but it's not going to be as good as an OLED or a QLED or whatever. But I don't have the money for one of those, so this will do. This will do for the moment. I'm quite happy with it. We also have one downstairs in the living room, so yeah. Anyway, I'll start with the 4Ks. The V for Vendetta. This was in it was in an Amazon had like they're having a lot of stuff on offer, and this was, I can't remember how much it was, but it was reduced in price, and I've never owned a copy of this film. Actually, I've seen it. I saw it on TV about I guess 10 years ago, something like that, and I thought it was really good, but and I kept meaning to buy it, but I never did, and good thing I didn't because I got it. I got it on 4K. It's the and apparently it looks really good. Just cover inside, and so I think, as I noted last time, the studios, they're starting to use these. They're not using Amaray cases anymore. They're using these. I don't know what you call them, but they're a different design. All right, so you get the 4K and the Blu-ray, which is exactly the same as the standalone Blu-ray from, like, I guess 2007, whenever it was new. So it's doesn't have the new remaster. So if you can't play 4K discs, but you want the remastered the 4K transfer, to watch, you're out of luck, I'm afraid. So it's a shame. I'll just read out the extras. So, 2 hours of bonus features: James McTeague and Lana Wachowski in conversation, looking back at V for Vendetta. Natalie Portman's audition, V for Vendetta Unmasked, the making of with filmmakers and cast, and more. I hate that one. They don't list everything. They just put some of them and then they say and more. But yeah. So I don't know if there's any of those new. Well, I guess the James McTeague and Lana Wachowski is probably on the 4K because it sounds like a recent extra. But I think all the other ones are just on the Blu-ray disc. So, but apparently that had a decent amount. So next we have one of the best westerns ever made. We have the US 4K release of The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly from Kino Video. This is well, I imported it. It was reduced to about I think 18, 19 quid. I thought, well, that's how much it would cost if it came out over here. So I just imported it because you can't get it over here. Doesn't have HDR, but it looks really good. It's the best this film ever looked on home video, and it is the international theatrical version. There's three versions. There's the original Italian cut, the international theatrical version, which was shortened, but Sergio Leone, the director, actually made the edit himself, so he did approve of this edit. And then for the special edition DVD, there was an extended version which added back in a lot of the scenes from the Italian cut, plus a scene that was in the premiere, the version that was shown in Rome, the premiere in Rome, but was in the actual film when it went on general release because Leone didn't like it. They put that in, which is really annoying. And I think the international version is the best edit. I think a lot of there's a couple of scenes I think are quite interesting, but most of, I used to prefer it actually. But looking back, I think I prefer the shorter version. It's better paced, and apart from a couple of scenes, I don't miss the extra footage. Certainly not the scene from the extended cut that wasn't in the Italian version. Shame the Italian version couldn't be included because, but they do include the scenes as extras. Another problem with the extended version was because it was done years later and it was the film was shot without sound and then dubbed. They got Clint Eastwood and Eli Wallach come back about 40 years later, and they sound much older. So when you get to those scenes, it's clearly them about 40 years later, and it's very distracting. So I'm glad to have the shortened version. You've got the 4K disc and the Blu-ray disc, which is it's the same edit. It would have been nice if they'd included the extended cut on the standard Blu-ray, but I guess it was so that people who wanted the remaster, the 4K transfer on a Blu-ray because they can't play the 4K disc, which is fair enough. I don't know why they couldn't have included the extended cut on a second Blu-ray, but never mind. Cost reasons, maybe. Actually has a reversible cover. This is the cover it came with normally. I switched it to this one because it's the original Italian poster, which since it's an Italian film, I thought that would be better. I preferred using the Italian cover because it's an Italian movie. But yeah, so special features wise, you have a audio commentary by film historian Tim Lucas. The extended version had a commentary by I think Christopher Frayling, and it's not on here because obviously it's the shortcut. It's a shame that's not on here, but you can get the extended version quite cheap if you want that version, and it's the one on streaming. So if you want to watch the extended version, it's easy. So I think that's probably why they made this the international version, the one on here, because you can't really get it anymore. Other than this and the old bare bones DVD, but who wants to watch a DVD when you can have a nice 4K remaster? So audio commentary by Tim Lucas, Leone's West, making of documentary, Il Maestro, Ennio Morricone, and The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, parts 1 and 2. So I guess that's like maybe an interview with Ennio Morricone. The Leone Style on Sergio Leone featurette, The Man Who Lost the Civil War documentary, Reconstruction, Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, deleted scenes, vignettes, and much more. So it's got all the extras from the special edition DVD apart from the commentaries, because again, they won't sync with that version. So yeah, that's probably the best release to own. You might want to get the extended cut just to have that cut of the movie and the commentaries. I don't think I don't know if I'll bother buying that again because, like I say, I'd much rather watch the shortened version now. And the last of the 4Ks, we have the Cornetto trilogy. So Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and The World's End. You'll notice this is in a Blu-ray case, and that's because I ordered this from the entertainment store. I think it was the entertainment store, and they were selling it for 30 quid. So I ordered it, and when it arrived, the case was all smashed up. And it's 6 discs, and the only 6 disc case I could find that was the right size was Blu-ray. So kind of annoying, but never mind. At least I was able to get another case. Um, I've seen these films before. I hadn't watched them before. I watched Shaun of the Dead, and I didn't have time to watch all of Hot Fuzz, but I did watch some of it, and I haven't seen The World's End on 4K yet. Hot Fuzz doesn't look that great, but I knew that going in because people said that of the three, it looks pretty. The remaster's not very good, but Shaun of the Dead looks pretty good, and apparently World's End looks really nice too. So yeah, I like these films. I'm not as I've only seen The World's End once. It's probably the weakest of the three. Hot Fuzz is good, but kind of I feel like it is funny, but I think like it kind of gets a bit overcut. I got a bit sick of it for a while because people just kept quoting it, and I just got a bit sick of it. But it's been a while since I've seen it, and so it'd be nice. Well, I watched part of it, but it'd be nice to rewatch the whole thing. Uh, after not having seen it in a while. And Shaun of the Dead's my favourite, and that's the main reason I got this because I wanted this on 4K, and you could only get it in the 3 pack. And I thought, well, the other two films I quite like as well, so you get there's the 4K of Shaun of the Dead, the Blu-ray. They're just the standard Blu-rays you get if you buy them on their own, which is fine because they looked pretty good for standard Blu-rays, and they have all the extras. So Hot Fuzz, 4K Hot Fuzz Blu-ray, which is rated 18 for the extra features. Which yeah, they're all the films are 15, but like Hot Fuzz, I guess it's in 18 on Blu-ray because of the extras, I guess. And then The World End 4K and Blu-ray, and it's the only one where the disc art matches because the other two, it's different images, but on World's End they match. So special features, as mentioned, but they've got like these back in the DVD. These were like always had really good special features like commentaries, deleted scenes, featurettes. Loads. They're not really mentioned. Didn't really mention too many on the back, but there were loads of extra features on there. So if you love extras, you want to get these films. So yeah, worth it. The two or three of the most, I guess, best comedies of the past of this century, or three of them are popular anyway, and they are funny, so definitely worth having them. Next we got the Blu-rays. I'll start with the boutique label stuff, and I'll start with one that arrived today in the post. We have Yesterday's Enemy, which is a Hammer film. Hammer Films, who did they're famous for doing horror movies, but they did other stuff, and this is a prisoner of war film, I think. And it's not very well known, but apparently it's really good. And this was in the Indicator. We're doing these volume box sets of Hammer films in volumes. I've got volumes 1 and 2. This was in volume 3, and I didn't buy volume 3 because I wasn't interested in all the films. I was interested in this one, but I think the other ones I was a bit iffy on, so I didn't buy it. And it went out. Basically, Indicator, they do the limited edition, which comes with the booklet. Oh, in this case, it was in a box set. And then when the limited edition sells out, so they put out a standard version. So when the Hammer one sold out, they released the films just on their own without the booklet, which is a shame because the booklet's nice, but at least you can buy the film again. And yeah, so I haven't seen it yet, but like I say, it just arrived. But I'm looking forward to it. So special features, you have high definition remaster, original mono audio, which is good because I prefer to watch films with the original sound mix rather than like a 5.1 surround sound thing. Just because I'd rather see it the way it was when it came out. Yeah. Alternative feature presentations, the uncensored UK theatrical version and the US theatrical version with toned down dialogue. I guess the Americans couldn't handle like toned down dialogue. I guess like some swearing or something. Maybe the Americans couldn't handle swearing, so had to be removed. The Guardian interview with Val Guest, that's the director, which is an archival audio recording of the celebrated filmmaker in conversation with Jonathan Rigby at the London's National Film Theatre. Jonathan Rigby's written some very good books about Hammer films, and he's done like commentaries on some of them. So yeah, I want to learn about Hammer films. Read some of his books; they're very, very good. Total War Inside Yesterday's Enemy, documentary written and directed by Hammer expert Marcus Hearn. Another one who's writes a lot of books about Hammer, who's that are worth checking out. And narrated by Claire Louise Amos and featuring film historians Alan Barnes and Jonathan Rigby again. Hammer's Women, Edwina Carroll. Critic and author Becky Booth on the popular Burmese-born actress. I'm assuming she's in this. They don't mention her name on the back, but I assume she's in this if it's got a threat on her in the thing. Stephen Laws introduces Yesterday's Enemy, an appreciation by the acclaimed horror author, New Territory, an analysis of the film by British film expert Steve Chibnall. Is that Steve Chibnall, the Doctor Who writer? No, that's Chris Chibnall, who writes Doctor Who. Are they related? Is Steve Chibnall Chris Chibnall's brother? So, if anyone knows if they're related, please put it in the comments because I'd like. I'm curious now. Frontline Dispatches 2018. Second assistant director Hugh Harlow, props Shane Chan, Peter Alcorn recall their time working on the film. The trailer, image gallery, new and improved English subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing. So you get a lot of stuff on these indicator discs. I mean, yeah, definitely. If you're interested in Hammer films, buy the indicator discs. I mean, I don't think you can get the box sets of 1 to 4. You can get 5 and 6 is just come out, but you can get all the films from 1 to 3 in standard editions now. I don't think 4 has been reissued yet. Those discs have been. I think they're coming out next month. So, but yeah, definitely worth it. Buying indicator discs because they're always good quality releases. Next, we have a couple of 101 films. We'll start with one, The Deep. This was in $5.99 in HMV, and it comes with the little. Don't know, they still sell these released, but it's a little miniature issue of Cinema Retro about the making of the film. Nice stuff. Yeah, I guess it's an adventure film. It's like they're looking for like treasure. They're in Bermuda and they find a sunken wreck of a World War II freighter, and near it they find an ampule of morphine, 1/10,000 still on board the wrecked ship. Which leads to so it's a treasure hunt film, I think. Based on a book by Peter Benchley, who wrote Jaws, and it's got Robert Shaw in it as well, and Jacqueline Bisset and Nick Nolte. Sounded like it was quite entertaining, and it was cheap, and yeah, that'd be good. Thought it'd be an entertaining watch. So, special features: interview with underwater art director Terry Ackland Snow, commentary with film critic Kevin Lyons, the making of The Deep, select scenes from the 3-hour special edition. Apparently, there was when it was shown on TV, they added in some deleted scenes to make it. That was quite common back in the 70s, 80s, was that because the TV networks realised they could make more money if the movies had more ad breaks, so they would put deleted scenes back into the film and make like 3-hour long extended versions, show them on TV. And this has some of them, not all of them. It's a shame that they couldn't have included all the extra scenes or even the full TV cut. I don't know why. Cinema Retro, I mentioned that Cinema Retro mini magazine, The Deep Focus and Film. Yeah, so it'll be good. And yeah, apparently the thing most people remember about this is Jacqueline Bisset in a wet T-shirt because she is. You see her on the front. She swims underwater. She wears a T-shirt, and it's yeah. So so probably quite fondly remembered by a lot of adolescents from who saw it back in '77. Next, we have another 101 films. We have Split Second. This is the second release of Split Second. They released it, I think, like a one disc Blu-ray, like a few years ago, and then more recently they released this one of their Black Label releases, which is two discs. And this is the and one. Originally, the Black Labels came out. They came in these sort of hard boxes with little booklets and the case, and this just comes in the case. I guess the hard box and the booklet have sold out. That's fine. You get all the discs. You have two discs because there's two. That's the film, I think. Disc one featuring commentary and disc two special features. So it's basically it's Rutger Hauer. He's like a it's set in London in a dystopian future, and there's like a serial killer. Rutger Hauer's like a maverick cop who's looking for a serial killer. So yeah, it's sort of a B movie thing, but it looks quite. I thought it looked quite interesting. So special features, brand new extras, HD presentation of the film in the original aspect ratio, scanned in 4K. Audio commentary by film historian Mike Leader and filmmaker on Venema. They've been doing a lot of commentaries on the Hong Kong martial arts films that Eureka have been putting out. So their commentaries are quite interesting. So I'll have to listen to that when I've seen the film. Great Big Bloody Guns, producer Laura Gregory and actor Alistair brackets Neil Duncan. It's I think his name's Alistair Duncan, but he's credited as Alistair Duncan in the film, but now I think he's called like his stage name now is Neil Duncan, so that's why there. Call Me Mr. Snips, an interview with composer Stephen W. Parsons. Stay in Line, an interview with line producer Laurie Borg. More Blood, an interview with creature effects designer Cliff Wallace. Shoot Everything, an interview with cinematographer Clive Tickner. Newly commissioned artwork by Keith Robinson. Additional extras. I'm guessing these are on the it doesn't say which discs are on, but there's additional extras. I'm guessing they're like older special features they've put it over. So the original 1992 making of featurette, original 1992 behind the scenes feature, with featuring special effects creator Stephen Norrington and the cast and crew. Stephen Norrington, for those of you who guess the special effects on this, he went on to direct Blade and The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, and that was it. Basically, that kind of killed his career. He hasn't directed anything since, which is a shame because like Blade was quite a well directed film. So Split Second, the Japanese cut. That's what I was thinking of. Full frame with burnt-in Japanese subtitles SD. So it's like I guess the Japanese version is different, and it's a standard def copy with burnt-in subtitles. I guess maybe they don't have the original film of it, but I guess it's more of a curio than like a thing. And deleted scenes from the Japanese cut. So if you just want to see the extra scenes, but without having to sit through the whole Japanese cut, you can, which is good. 7 promotional TV clips, US home video promo, and the theatrical trailer. So lot of cool extras on that. So even if I don't like the film, I'm sure it'll be worth worth going through all the extras. That's why I like these boutique label releases because they put even if the film's not the best, they always put effort into the release, giving you the best release possible for fans. So that's why I kind of try to support the boutique labels just for that reason. Next we have Eureka. First we have a Masters of Cinema from Eureka. We have one of my favourite films ever, The Spy Who Came In From the Cold with Richard Burton. This is a John le Carré. It's based on a John le Carré novel, and Richard Burton plays basically an English spy. He goes into He's on a dangerous mission he's in East Germany. Really, very good film. Very good film. Do give it a watch if you like spy thrillers. So this is the first pressing, so it has a slipcase and cover. It's a reversible cover. Um, on the inside is the same as the. I think this is the one that came in, but same as you can have it as the same as the slipcover or this artwork. I use this artwork because I've already got this one on the slipcover, so I have this one out. I can have both of them displayed. Also comes with a booklet. What kind of annoys me about Eureka is they've moved to using like the these size cases instead of the these ones which they used to use, but they've kept the booklets the same size, so the booklets, they only go so far. And it's like, why not just make the booklet taller? Kind of a bit of a nitpick, but it kind of annoys me. There's the disc. So special features, 1080p restoration, again, uncompressed LPCM stereo audio. I thought this film would have been made in mono. I guess it is. It is a stereo mono. I think. I'm not sure. I guess stereo. I know the DVD had a 5.1 track, so I wonder if it's just a sound mix of that instead of the original sound mix. I have no idea. Optional English subtitles. Brand new audio commentary with film scholar Adrian Martin. Cold Light. Brand new video essay by critic and filmmaker David Carnes. Plus booklet. So yeah, this is the same. I believe it's the same video transfer as the Criterion. The extras are different, but you get the same picture quality. So if you can't play the Criterion because you live in Region B land, this is a good alternative. I never did buy the Criterion. I meant to, but Criterions are expensive. Anyway, buying them here, importing them is really expensive. So I never really get around to importing them, but good thing I didn't because I got a Masters of Cinema version now. Next we have these two are they're not Masters of Cinema. I believe they're Eureka Classics, which is fine. Basically, they're basically similar releases, but they're not part of the Masters of Cinema line. But it's the same level of quality. So the one-armed boxer with Jimmy Wang Yu. Basically, he's a martial artist, and after incurring the wrath of a local gang leader, he's attacked by a team of deadly mercenaries and has his right arm violently severed. And he has to learn has to train his remaining arm to be stronger than ever, and goes on a rip-roaring rampage of revenge. This is really entertaining. It's apparently when it came out, it was quite innovative. Like the story hadn't really been. Story sounds quite cliche now, but at the time it hadn't really been done so much. But it's been ripped off so many times that it's cliche to the point where it feels like you're watching parody. But the fight scenes are really. I mean, they're quite primitive by today's standards, but they are quite entertaining. And yeah, good cheesy fun, I would say. And it actually comes with, so you take the slipcover off, and it actually comes with a fold-out poster. Basically, one side is this, and one side is that. Safe. I don't think I have room for the whole thing. And again, you have the booklet, the disc, and the reversible artwork, which again, one side's what's on the slipcover, one side's the original poster art. Yeah, I had a blast watching this. I would definitely, if you like kung fu films, I would recommend this because it's one of the classics. So special edition, you got a slipcover with the reversible poster, 1080p presentation, original Mandarin and English audio options. If you alternative Mandarin soundtrack, here's the thing: like the original Mandarin audio. See, something you know about Hong Kong film industry, they don't care about copyright, or at least they didn't back then. So if you watch the original Mandarin audio, during the opening titles they play the theme tune from Shaft, which is great. Like the alternate Mandarin and the English don't have to use another piece of music, but if you listen to the original Mandarin, it has the Shaft theme in it, which is so yeah. Definitely watch it with that audio track. I mean, obviously it's the original too. So you want to hear it in the original language, but also you get Shaft theme. Optional English subtitles, feature length audio commentary by Asian film expert Frank Dijing. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Stills Galleries trailer. The Chinese Professionals TV spot. The Chinese Professionals was the American title, I think, and it's basically a TV spot with the American TV promos. Plus booklet. So yeah. Next we have another Hong Kong martial arts film by directed by and starring one of my favourite Hong Kong martial arts stars. We have Encounter of the Spooky Kind by Sammo Hung and starring Sammo Hung. Yeah, really good film. It's a bit like Evil Dead crossed with a kung fu film. If you haven't seen it, it's so slipcover and again double-sided poster. This one doesn't have a reversible artwork inside. It just has a picture. It's a shame. Yeah, I had the Hong Kong Legends DVD. This took me ages to find it, and I eventually found it. And then when I found out this was coming, I sold it because I want it in HD. So is this so this one's double-sided poster again, and the original. I don't know why they didn't have that as the reverse on the cover. Never mind. So so it's like a horror comedy, like I say, like Evil Dead, but with kung fu vampires in it. So special edition, brand new restoration, Cantonese audio, the original mono presentation, alternate Cantonese audio, the home video mix. I don't know what the differences are. I wonder if it's the same thing where like they had to change the music because of copyright. English dubbed audio, the classic dub from the original film's original release. English dubbed audio, modern dub created for the film's later re-release, which I guess was the one on the Hong Kong Legends DVD. Optional English subtitles, brand new feature-length audio commentary by Asian film expert Frank Dijing again. Archival interview with Sammo Hung. Alternate English opening and closing credits, stills gallery, and the original Hong Kong theatrical trailer. So yeah, very very entertaining film. Again, if you love kung fu films, I recommend watching this. Although it's very very again, something else you need to learn about Hong Kong films is they do not care about political correctness at all, especially back then. And Sammo's films are very when they come to the portrayal of women, his films are pretty misogynistic, for want of a better word. I'm not saying that, I mean, it's just a product of the culture and the time it was made in, but yeah, when you watch the film, it is pretty shockingly sexist. So just keep that in mind when you watch it. It was made in a different culture 40 years ago. So now we're on to just, I guess, regular Blu-rays. We have film I've never seen, Shout at the Devil, which is an adventure movie starring Roger Moore and Lee Marvin. And I just bought that based on the cast alone, because, of those two. Roger Moore, he's my favourite Bond when I was a kid, but I've gone off a lot of his Bond films, but I still like him in a lot of stuff. It's more the films themselves I think are a bit crap, but I don't mind him so much. First ever release of the uncut 2-3-5-1 theatrical version. That's a lie. It is the uncut theatrical version, but the film on this disc apparently isn't the 2:3:5 ratio. It's just standard 16:9. So the cover is lying, but you can get it in the proper ratio I think in America. I think it's released, but I thought, well, I'll get this, and then I can watch it, and if I like it, see if I can import a version in the proper ratio, and if not, if I don't like it, I can just sell it on. So no harm done. And it's got but it is apparently remastered and does look quite nice, apart from the fact that it's in the wrong ratio. And it has some decent extras. So it's got an image gallery, Roger Moore's career, A Matter of Class, which is a documentary about Roger Moore's career. Which is part of the reason why I got this, because I thought that would be an interesting watch because he was in a lot of stuff. The original theatrical trailer and classic movie previews. So looking forward to watching this. Sounds like something I would like. Just a shame about the it not being in the right ratio. Despite what other tells you. Yeah, screen bound. You need to sort yourselves out. Next, Legend, Ridley Scott. This is the UK release, so it has the European version and the director's cut. For those of you who don't know, this is a fantasy film by Ridley Scott. It's got Tom Cruise in it before he was. I guess was this before Top Gun? 85, I guess it was, but basically, so it was originally it was scored by Jerry Goldsmith, and that was the version that came out in Europe. Then there was a test screening. It was released internationally by Fox and in the States by Universal. And there was a test screening of the European cut in America. And the audience, it was like teenagers, I guess, and the audience didn't really like it. So the head of Universal basically said to Ridley Scott, "Do you think maybe we should recut it and do music again?" And Ridley Scott said yes. So when it came out in America, it was a shortened edit of the movie, and it had a completely different musical score by Tangerine Dream, the synth group. So this film has two completely different scores, and it wasn't. I think it was. I guess it wasn't until it was released on DVD in the States when they released not the European cut, Ridley Scott's director's cut, which is basically the European version but longer, like an extended version of that. And it was a 2 disc DVD that came out in America, and it had both cuts, the director's cut and the theatrical cut. And this is being the UK version. It doesn't have the Tangerine Dream version. It has the European version. Plus, well, it says director's cut just on the back, which makes it sound like that's the only version on here. But it has. I put the disc in. It has both. So yeah, which is fine because being a Brit, this is the only version. I've only seen the European cut, so I'm not that bothered about not having the Tangerine Dream score. Which honestly, I don't think a synth score would really work well in a fantasy film. But then again, there's a lot of people who grew up with the American cut who, who don't like the Jerry Goldsmith score. So I don't know, but yeah, good film, very style over substance, but it looks beautiful. And Tim Curry plays Darkness. His character is basically like you can see he's basically the devil. And yeah, it's worth watching the film just for him because he's really good and the makeup is excellent. So yeah, no extras on the UK disc apart from the director's cut. The American disc has like more extras, but Universal put that out. Fox put this out. So apparently there's an Arrow version by Arrow Video coming out, but I have a suspicion it's only going to come out in America because two different distributors. Well, Universal, Arrow have worked with them before. Fox is now owned by Disney, and I don't think they'd be licensing their films out to a boutique label in the, at least over here. So, yeah, this is probably the only version we're going to get in the UK. And like I say, I'm not that bothered about the Tangerine Dream score, so I'm not that bothered if, I don't get... I can't, Arrow, because I'm assuming Arrow will have all three versions, so I'm not that bothered if we don't get it. I'm too cheap to import it, so... Yeah. Legend, worth a watch. Next week, speaking of Ridley Scott, we have Prometheus. This is the Blu-ray plus digital copy. Doesn't have the digital copy anymore. No, it's just a leaflet. I never use digital copies anyway. I hate this film, but I'm trying to get all the Alien films on Blu-ray or 4K. I have the first one on 4K and Aliens, Alien 3 and Resurrection on Blu-ray, and I do want to pick up Covenant on 4K because I quite like that one when I saw it at the cinema. I was going to get this one on 4K because even though it's a crap film, it probably looked really nice, but it was $1.99 in a charity shop, and I thought, you know what, I'm only buying it for just to have all the Alien films, so it doesn't really matter if I don't have if I've only got it on standard Blu-ray because I'm not really going to watch it. So yeah. Special features, commentary by Ridley Scott, commentary by writer John State, and writer slash executive producer Damon Lindelof. Yeah. Uh, and the Peter Whalen files. The 3D version of this had came with a 3D and this disc, and then a bonus disc which had really good making of documentaries. But again, don't like the film, so I don't care. Yeah, Prometheus. Next, we have got this in the Poundland. We have Bridesmaids. Never seen this. Apparently, it was really funny though. So it's really funny. So I thought, oh, for £2, I'll get it. And yeah, I haven't watched it yet. I don't mind the odd chick flick. Like I'm not even if I'm not part of a film's target audience. If it's a good film, I'll enjoy it. I'm not, you know, there. And yeah, like I say, I heard this was really funny. Even though it has Melissa McCarthy in, who is not funny, but apparently she's quite funny in this. So, and Kirsten Wiggs, I like Kirsten Wiggs. She's really funny in a lot of stuff. So, basically, it's about I guess Kirsten Wig, her best friend's getting married, and she's the way in over her head, but determined to succeed. She leads a hilarious ensemble of bridesmaids on a wild ride down the road to the big event. So yeah, it's and all reviews say it's a bit like a female version of The Hangover. So yeah, yeah. Never saw The Hangover either. Yeah. But yeah, so extra features, so Maid of Honor, behind the scenes, featurette, deleted scenes, extended and alternate scenes, gag reel, hold on, full song performance, linorama, drunkorama, feature length commentary with the filmmakers and cast, and much more. And I believe it has. I don't think it mentions it on the back, but I think it has two cuts of the movie, like the theatrical cut and an extended cut. If you've seen this, let me know which cut's better. And hold on a minute, actually, I forgot something from another one I got from the same pound shop on the same day. Where is it? Where is it? Zootropolis, the Disney film. My sister has this on DVD, and I watched it with her, and I really enjoyed it. So when I saw it in the pound shop, I thought, oh, I'll get that. It was a funny film. I mean, the actual title of the film is Zootopia. That's what it was called in America, but for some reason over here they called it Zootropolis, which honestly I kind of prefer because it's a metropolitan city. Metropolis, Zootropolis is more fitting, I think. But I don't know why they had to change it. Yeah, very very funny, kind of a buddy cop film, but with talking animals. So special features research, a true life adventure, the origin of an animal tale, zoology, the round tables, Scotopia, ZPD, forensic files, try anything, music video by Shakira, deleted characters and deleted scenes. So yeah, definitely worth £2. Worth more than £2 really, but glad I got it so cheap. I don't know why they'd be selling like a big Disney, like, because that was a pretty popular movie. So I don't know why they would be selling it in Disney. They'd be selling Disney films in the pound shop, but I guess because physical media sales are declining, they just want to get rid of them, which is good for me because it means I can buy them cheap. And yeah. Next we have another. I guess this is another rom com. I got from CEX. Crazy Stupid Love. It's got a good cast in it. Steve Carell, Ryan Gosling, Julianne Moore, Emma Stone, Marissa Tomei, Kevin Bacon. So yeah, I heard it was really good also. And yeah, again, I'm not. It doesn't matter whether it's a chick flick or a children's film or whatever. If it's a good film, I'll enjoy it. And it's dual format, so it has the Blu-ray and the DVD. Don't really need the DVD though, but I guess nice to have. So yeah, another. I haven't seen this either, but I'm looking forward to it. So special features on Blu-ray: Steve and Ryan walk into a bar. This is basically Steve Carell and Ryan Gosling talking about their roles. in the film, the player meets his match, Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone. It's them talking. It's Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone talking in that one, and deleted scenes. So not a lot, but never mind. I mean, I don't watch special features that much unless it's like a boutique label and it's a film I really like or something. It's like where there's a lot. I'll watch them, but generally I don't. I don't know. It's half the time, so it really has to be a film I love, and it has to be like some really good, really good special feature for me to sit and watch it. Next we have and a film I used to own this on Blu. It was this, not this same edition, not this exact copy, I assume, but it was this edition of the film. And I sold it because I thought it's not. It's one of those films where it's like you watch it a couple of times, you don't need to watch it again. But then recently, I had the urge to rewatch it, and the Blu-ray is now out of print, so it's actually quite hard to find. And someone was selling it at the car boot fair for £2, £3 or something. So I was like, I snapped that up. And case isn't in the best condition, but if £3 for an out of print title, I'm okay with that. We have the Ultimate Edition of Stargate, the movie with James Spader and Kurt Russell. I used to watch SG-1 with my dad sometimes. I haven't seen it in about 20 years, but yeah, the film's pretty good though. Although it gets forgotten about because the TV series isn't more popular. But yeah, not a great film, but it's good, solid, entertaining popcorn film, I think. And the best thing about the Ultimate Edition is it has the theatrical and the extended cuts on it. It's good because I think the old DVDs only had the extended cut. Because if you're gonna include if there's a film with multiple cuts, I think they should always include them all, just so people can choose which one. If someone prefers one over the other, they can pick the one they prefer. I really hate when they just have one version, and it's like, well, why can't you just give me the choice? Uh, Same with Legend, like they include the director's cut and the European cut. Not the Tangerine Dream cut, which I like, but it would have been nice if you could have included all three. Uh, compare them. Uh, so obviously it has both cuts: Stargate, History Made New, Deciphering the Gate, featurette, Opening the Gate, Making the Movie featurette, Passing Through the Gate featurette, New Never Before Seen Gag Reel, Picture in Picture, Ultimate Stargate Knowledge, Is There a Stargate featurette, Making of Stargate documentary, audio commentary with writer-director Roland Emmerich and writer-director Dean Devlin. Yeah, this is probably Roland Emmerich's best film. I mean, I haven't seen Universal Soldier, and Independence Day is pretty good, but I think I like this more. His other films are a bit crap, though. Although I do, Godzilla's a bit of a guilty pleasure for me because I saw it when I was a kid, when I was very young, and I quite enjoyed it. New English 7.1 DTS Master Audio, original Stargate previews, B-roll footage, and BD Live. So yeah, you get pretty stuff. The only criticism I have is there's no subtitles. Not that I need subtitles, but it's just less people can buy it because some people do need subtitles, and now they can't buy the film if there's no subtitles. It's a shame. And we have the last Blu-ray. Add this to last because it's in a DVD size case, so it bridges the link between the DVDs and the Blu-rays. The Sound of Music. Would you believe I've never seen this all the way through? I've seen bits of it, but not the whole film. Now, this is the 45th anniversary edition. It says includes Blu-ray and DVD and Blu-ray. Basically, it's in a DVD size case. You'll notice I don't have the DVD anymore because it was in a 3-disc case, but the train that was broken, I think, and so I needed to put it in another case, and I only had a 2-disc case, and I have a 3-disc case, and the DVD was pretty scratched up anyway, and I thought, well, I'm not going to watch the DVD because I have more than one Blu-ray player, so it's not like if my Blu-ray player dies, I can't watch the Blu-ray copy, so I just binned the DVD because it wouldn't have played anyway. So yeah, so 3-disc set, well, there. So the DVD contained the newly remastered picture and audio, optional sing-along track, music, machine sing-along, The Sound of Music, Tour, Living Story, obviously I can't watch those because I don't have the DVD anymore. But the Blu-ray has feature film and special features. Feature film remastered in high def, your favorite things, interactive celebration, all new immersive viewing experience with behind the scenes images, on screen lyrics, trivia track, and location quiz. Music Machine sing along, the audio commentaries with Julie Andrews, Christopher Plummer, and Robert Wise, BD Live, musical stages, creating the sound of music, and all new interactive. This is on the second disc, I think. Uh, interactive backlot tour with in-depth featurettes on songs, the songs, the stage show, and the movie, the film, and sound restoration, and the real life Von Trapp family. A City of Song virtual map of filming locations in Salzburg, Austria. Vintage Rodgers and Hammerstein and the Sound of Music program, screen tests, rare treasures, interviews, photo galleries, and more. I wish they would just list all the extras instead of just saying and more. But yeah. So looking forward to finally watching this all the way through. Next, we have another musical, Fiddler on the Roof. This is the 2-disc special edition DVD. This film is on Blu-ray, but I didn't buy it for a specific reason. So basically, there's a DVD rental mail order website called Cinema Paradiso, and basically you sign up and you rent discs. And I rented Fiddler on the Roof, and I really enjoyed it. But the Blu-ray had an issue with the sound. The sound went out of sync in a few places, and it was really, really obvious, like distractingly bad. So I thought, well, yeah, the picture quality is nice on the Blu-ray, but I can't stand the sound being out of sync. So I just got the DVD. And it's not too bad for a DVD, so it's fine. It's got all the extras. Basically, it's about a Jewish family in the turn of the century Tsarist Russia. Yeah, it's very Jewish. A lot of it's because the main characters are Jewish, and there's a lot of the themes like Jewish identity in that. And yeah, very good film. Did it win Best Picture or no? It was nominated for no, it won supporting actor, I think, for Leonard Frey, who plays son-in-law. Cinematography. Oh no, he didn't win. So it won for cinematography or sound and best music adaptation of music from another source. So John Williams didn't write the music because it was a stage play, but he adapted it for the film. And yeah, really good. If you like musicals, give it a watch. Special features got a commentary, documentary about Norman Jewison, the director. Norman Jewison looks back, deleted song, Any Day Now, Treve's dream sequence in full colour, because it's in like a desaturated black and white look in the film. Trevier, not Chevier. Character's name is pronounced Trevier. Trevier, oh, I forget to pronounce it, sorry. The stories of Shalom Akim. Basically, it's the author of the Treverier stories were what inspired the film. And it's like I think it's Norman Jewison reading them, I believe. Easter egg, historical background with photographs by Anne Weiss. Storyboard to film comparison, the trailer, vintage trailers and TV spots, and archive photo galleries. So, yeah, worth a watch. Just make sure you get the DVD, because like I said, the Blu-ray is out of sync. Next we have another Hong Kong classic, Better Tomorrow. This is the 1-disc edition from Optimum. There was a 2-disc DVD, which I used to have. It came in a steelbook. This is just the first disc. Basically, I had this, and I sold it because one, this is the version where infamously they use music from like I think Forrest Gump and Speed. Like replace some of the score with music from Forrest Gump and Speed and other Hollywood movies. It's really annoying, and also because there's been a lot of Hong Kong films coming out on Blu-ray from Eureka and 88 Films. I thought, oh well, surely they're going to release this eventually, so I'll just sell it. And then I found out that apparently the company that made this, and a lot of John Woo's Hong Kong films, Golden Princess, they're now an insurance company. and they have no interest in like letting anyone, like license their film archive. They don't care about their film archive. They're, they're not a film company anymore. They don't care. So this is never going to come out on Blu-ray outside of Asia because I think Fortune Star has the rights in Asia. But it's never going to come out. It's never going to be on a streaming service or on Blu-ray or anything outside of Asia. So if you live outside of China and you want a copy of this, and you have to buy an old DVD. So I bought this, and Amazon was actually selling this, the one disc version, brand new for £4. So I bought it just to have it because even though it's got the altered score and that, it's you're not gonna you're not gonna get a better version. Unfortunately, there was an older DVD release which had the original audio, but it was non-anamorphic and the picture quality was really bad. The subtitles were burnt into the image. So this is better quality, even though it has. I mean, the picture quality on this isn't great either, but it's better than that, and even though it has the wrong music, but at least I can still watch it, and at least it's watchable. So yeah, and being the one disc version, the only extra is a trailer and an audio commentary by Bay Logan. A lot of he used to do a lot of audio commentaries with like Hong Kong films on the Hong Kong Legends label, but a lot of his commentaries aren't included on the Eureka like Blu-rays and that. Because he's a bit of a persona non grata at the moment because he worked for Weinstein for a while and allegedly he was a bit of a sex pest too. So yeah, so, so which is a shame because his commentaries were very informative, although he always came across like he was very full of himself to me. Even though the information was very good, he always came across very egotistical. So I always had mixed feelings on him, and to be honest, so. But yeah, A Better Tomorrow. Next, we have a horror film called The Changeling. This is really good. I was interested in watching it. It's quite scary. There is a Blu-ray. This is from Studio Canal, Optimum again. Well, Studio Canal. Now they used to be called Optimum. Yeah, Optimum used to distribute Studio Canal titles in the UK, but now they've just been folded into Studio Canal. So it's just Studio Canal. There is a Blu-ray of this from I think Second Sight, and apparently it's really nice. It's got transferring extra features, but there's some issues with the sound again. The 5.1 is missing a couple of lines, and the mono track or stereo, whichever one it is, whatever the original audio is out of sync. So again, it's like, well, I don't want I don't want to be either watching it with the lines missing or the sound out of sync. So I just went with the DVD because apparently the sound on this is fine. So yeah, it's George C. Scott, and is it a haunted house film? I think it's like a haunted house film. Yeah, I heard it was quite scary. So, and I like George C. Scott. He was a really good actor in Patton and The Hustler and loads of stuff. And his version of A Christmas Carol is really good. I watch that every other year. Every year at Christmas, I watch either the Alistair Sim or George C. Scott Christmas Carol versions. I alternate each year because it's the same story, so I watch them back to back. A bit pointless. So I watch one year, and then the next year I'll watch the other one. I think I watched the George C. Scott one last year, so it'll be Alistair Sim this Christmas. Yeah, no extras on that, but at least the sound isn't messed up. Next we have I got this at the same car boot fair. This next lot of DVDs I got at the same car boot fair as Stargate. Splash, the Tom Hanks film, falls in love with a mermaid. I got this because I don't have Disney Plus, but apparently the version on Disney Plus is censored. Like some shots where you saw Daryl Hannah, who plays the mermaid, behind, and they've been censored. And I don't have Disney Plus, but we're thinking of getting it. And I thought, well, if I want to watch Splash, I'd rather have it uncut, so uncensored. So I got the DVD, and it was still in the plastic wrapping, so it was brand new. I mean, I've opened it now, but it was brand new when I bought it, and it was like a couple of quid. So, yep, definitely a bargain. Is this out of print? It might be out of print too. I'm not sure, but yeah. So, audio commentary special features, audio commentary, Tom Hanks audition, Daryl Hannah audition, making a splash. So, yeah, it's worth having just to have the proper version of the movie and not the edited version you get on Disney Plus. And then we have this is a trilogy of films. I've not seen them, but they're very highly regarded. And someone was selling the three of them. I mean, they were separate, but selling them. So I got them. So you have the Three Colors trilogy, which is you've got Three Colors Blue, Three Colors White, and final one, Three Colors Red. They're basically a. Is that French? I think they're French. France, Switzerland, Poland. Okay. So it's a co-production. Well, the first one's French, but the other ones say they're French, Switzerland, Polish productions. I don't know. They're in French. But yeah, so they're sort of it's a trilogy of films. I think they're like they expose the French revolutionary ideals of freedom, equality, and brotherhood. A landmark of world cinema. And I don't know much about them other than they're meant to be very good. And someone was selling them for like I think they were 50p each. So 150 for the whole trilogy. I mean, I would have preferred. They are on Blu-ray, and I would have preferred the Blu-ray box set, but 150 each. Yeah, at least I can watch them. So special features. Blue has. I'm not going to try and pronounce the director's name, but it's a masterclass from him. Interviews with some of the with the Juliet Brunchow, the editor and the producer. Excerpts on the original soundtrack and the trailer. White has the masterclass. I don't know if it's the same masterclass. Might be. An interview with Julie Depley and the producer. Interviews with Julie Depley and the producer, making of documentary, excerpts on the original soundtrack and the trailer. Again, the masterclass from the director. Interviews with. Oh wait, no, this is the first one. So again, masterclass. Red in Cannes featurette. Interviews with Irene Jacob, the editor and the producer. Making of documentary, excerpts from the original soundtrack and the trailer. So, yeah, glad that I can finally watch these. I've heard really good things about them. And the last DVD, I got this at CEX actually, not the Car Boot Fair. So this is a title that's out of print. You can't get it anymore. And CEX are selling this. This is the DVD. There is a Blu-ray, but the Blu-ray is really expensive. But CEX had the DVD for £2 for an out of print title. We have the 2-disc special edition of Near Dark, which is a vampire film from Catherine Bigelow. I hadn't seen it. I have seen it since. It is a very good film. Definitely worth watching if you can get your hands on a copy. As a booklet, and this is a Scavano case. This isn't the case it came in originally. The case it came in was broken. I just bought this. I bought this because it was the cheapest clear case because it has. I wanted a clear case because it has artwork underneath. This is the cheapest 2-disc clear case I could get that had little thing to hold the booklet. So yeah, really good films about this guy. He meets a girl and they really like each other, and she's a vampire and she bites him, and then he ends up as part of the group. She's part of this sort of group of vampires, and they basically sort of kidnap him because he's don't want him spilling the beans or anything. And yeah, it's a really good film. Catherine Bigelow is a really good director. Yeah, this is the 2-disc special edition. So disc 1 has the commentary with Catherine Bigelow. Disc 2 has a documentary, making of documentary, deleted scene, including commentary with Catherine Bigelow. Trailers, storyboards, poster and stills gallery, behind the scenes still gallery, talent bios, and some DVD-ROM crap, which you can't play anymore because I think it'd be outdated. And yeah, this I was really this looked a bit. The discs looked a bit rough when I bought them. The first disc had a few scratches, and the second disc looked like it was a bit rotted. But fortunately, they both played fine. So yeah, bargain basically. Out of print title, £2, and the disc played perfectly. So Yeah. Apparently, there's going to be a 4K restoration of that sooner, so I hope there'll be a 4K release of it within the next couple of years because I really, really enjoyed it. I would like to get that on 4K or Blu-ray at least. Next, we have the books. We'll start off with this book. We have Ghost Stories by M.R. James. M.R. James is an author, and this is a compilation of short stories, horror stories he wrote. This is the Penguin English Library release. Isn't this sort of nice cover? I've not read any of the stories, but I've heard they're pretty good. I quite like these sort of gothic ghost stories. And I also wanted to pick this up because there's a couple here I wanted to read. I've heard good things about them. Oh, Whistle and I Come to You, My Lad, which is like a very got turned. It was a TV movie based on that, which apparently is really scary, and I wanted to read. I've not seen the TV movie, but I thought I was interested in this reading the book. And what's it called? What's it called? Casting the Runes, which is what the film Night of the Demon is based on. I haven't seen Night of the Demon. I would like to watch Night of the Demon before I read this, so I can compare them. But I wanted to get it because I'm quite interested in watching Night of the Demon, and I thought it would be cool to read the book, the story afterwards, and compare them. So there's no sort of like extra notes or introduction. It's just the stories, but that's fine. That's fine. Wait, no, there is a. Is it? Oh, no, just the stories. You can see it's a bit of a crease on the back. I don't know if you can see, but there's a bit back cover's a bit creased, which is kind of annoying, but yeah, never mind. At least there's no like pages missing or anything. Next, we have talking of gothic horror. We have 2 copies of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. Now you might be wondering, why do you have 2 copies? Well, there are actually 2 different texts. There's the when it was originally published in 1818, which is in this one, and then in 1831, Mary Shelley revised the text, made some changes, and that's the version most copies have. There's the Penguin Classics version. And I wanted both because I wanted to read them both and compare them. And I've tried reading the book. I was reading I can't remember what it was. It was the 1818 text, I believe. And I tried reading the book, I think last year during lockdown. And I wasn't quite enjoying it. And I stopped about partway through. But I thought I really should finish it because it is a classic. And I should, finish it. And I thought, and why not get both copies? It was a different edition of the 1818 version I had, but I got rid of it. And this one's better anyway because it has like introduction and notes and stuff. I thought, why not get both and then I can read it twice? I've got an excuse to read it twice. And so this is the Oxford World's Classic, the 1818. I don't like that cover though, but yeah. So this edition includes introduction, textual note, bibliography, chronology, appendices, and explanatory notes. And the introduction and notes are by Nick Groom. So yeah, that's what I like about these Oxford World Classics and Penguin Classics is they come with basically the book equivalents of DVD extras. You get like introductions and notes and extra stuff, which gives you more bang for your buck, really. And the Penguin one, which is the 1831 version. And what's cool about this is it obviously has introduction and notes and stuff as well, but it also includes a fragment. It's a fragment by Lord Byron. I guess it's a story by Lord Byron, who was a friend of Mary Shelley. And it also includes The Vampire, a tale by Dr. John William Polidori. Now, for those of you who don't know, there's a famous story of like Frankenstein was written. Basically, it was Mary Shelley, her husband Shelley, the poet, Lord Byron, and Polidori, and they were in a house, and it was a stormy night, and they were telling each other ghost stories. And Mary Shelley told Frankenstein, that's where Frankenstein came from, and Polidori told the vampire. And what's cool is they've actually included the vampire here because they're connected because they were thought of on the same day. So it's kind of cool that they included that, and it also included whatever a fragment by Lord Byron is. Is it a story or a or something? It's something written by Lord Byron. Who, again, was there, so pretty cool. So Frankenstein. Hopefully, I'll actually finish it this time and read both versions. I'm pretty terrible with my books. I buy a lot of books, but they sit on the shelf for ages. I never get around to reading them. The trouble is, um, I like reading when I'm in the mood for it, but I'm very rarely in the mood for it. It's really annoying because I've got all these books just sitting there, and it's like I wish I would just sit and read them, but I need to be in the right mood, and I rarely am, unfortunately. Especially during all this, where you're all stressed out because of the lockdown and everything, and you're too stressed to read anything. Next, we have The Man Who Mistook His Wife for a Hat by Oliver Sacks. This was in I can't remember what it's called, but it was a book clearance shop, bookstore, and it was like it's clearance books, and it was £1, as you can see. And I wanted, Oliver Sacks wrote, one of my favourite films is Awakenings with Robin Williams and Robert De Niro, and that was based on a book by Oliver Sacks. It was true, something that happened to him, and he wrote a book about it, and then they made the movie, which is a fictional version. Like the character Robin Williams plays is a fictional character, but he's based on Oliver Sacks, and I like Awakenings, and I thought, well, I'll read, you know, for a quid, I'll read one of Oliver Sacks's books, and just by the actual guy. So yeah, it's about basically Oliver Sacks was, I think he's dead now, but he was a neurologist, and he wrote books about some of the cases he dealt with, and one of them is Awakenings, and this is another one. It's case studies of people who have lost their memories. So yeah, sounded interesting. Next, we have these two books again. I mentioned before, Amazon was like having a lot of stuff on offer, and these two books are like £1.50 or something each, and they were both on my Amazon wish list. So I thought, well, I'll get them. So we have a $1 Billion Brain by Len Dayton. This is the fourth and final novel featuring. So it's the Ipcress file, the Harry Palmer books. Well, I say Harry Palmer. The character isn't named in the books, but in the movies, he's called Harry Palmer. Michael Caine. There were 4 books. There were only 3 films in the '60s. There were 2 more films made in the '90s, but they weren't based on any of the books. This is the 4th book. It's the 3rd film. They skipped. I think it was the 2nd book. I don't know why they skipped that one. But yeah, it was cheap, and I don't have the other Palmer books. So any of Len Dayton's other books I have. I have seen the films, and yeah, I thought for cheap I'll get one of them because the Ipcress File of the Ipcress File movie. I like some of the other. I like the other 2 '60s ones, and yeah, I'm sure I'll enjoy the book too. And this is the History of the Crusades Part 1, the First Crusade, by Steve Runshim. Basically, it's a 3-volume book series on the Crusades, and this is the first volume. I don't have parts 1 and 2 yet. Parts 2 and 3 yet. I will get them. I just need to, obviously, I want to read this one first. Well, I'll get all 3 of them and then I'll read them, but I got this one because it was really, really cheap. So, yeah. Not much to say. I like history, so that would be fun. Next, we have, I was in HMV, I think was it Saturday or Sunday? I can't remember. It was the weekend. And in HMV, they started selling books over the past few years. And they have it's an offer if you buy 2 books for £6. And there is a series of books that I've been interested in reading for quite a long time. And they had the 6 books by the original. There's more books in the series overall, but these are the 6 by the original author. Because he died after the 6th one came out, and all the rest were written by his son, which apparently aren't as good. But I wanted to read the first 6, and HMV had all 6, so I ended up getting them all for £18. So we have Frank Herbert's Dune series. So you have Dune, the original, the 50th anniversary edition, Dune Messiah, Children of Dune, God Emperor of Dune, Heretics of Dune, and Chapter House June. I nearly said Chapel House June. Chapel House is a place near where I live. That's why I got confused, but it's Chapter House June. Yeah. I've seen the David Lynch film of the first book, and I've seen the miniseries of the first book. I watched a bit of Children of Dune miniseries, but yeah, those aren't very good. The miniseries, the film's not that good, really. I don't even like it, but I kind of watch. I'd like to watch it sometimes, even though it's not a very good film. And I'm being really excited because the Denis Villeneuve new film's going to come out, and it looks really good. And I thought I was in the mood for getting the Dune books, and fortunately HMV had all 6 of the Frank Herbert ones. Like I say, Brian Herbert, his son, wrote quite a lot of them afterwards, but they're not meant to be very good, and I'm not as interested in them. I don't like the idea. I don't like it when an author dies, someone else writes books, like sequels and that. I don't or prequels. I don't like that. I'm like, only in terms of books, I think only the original author should write things in that universe because it's their universe. They created it. So yeah, I kind of object to it in that way. So I'm not interested in the other ones, but I have these. I can read them. I'm gonna wait till after the film first film comes out because I have this weird thing where if I read a book, I can't enjoy the film because when I read a book, I'm already kind of making the film in my head. I'm picturing it as a film. So then when I see the film, it's like, well, that's not how I pictured it in my head. So I can't enjoy it as much as if I just watch it. So I'm going to wait till the film comes out before I read Dune, and then I'm going to wait and see if they do the sequels before I read them. So it'll probably be a while before I read all of these, but yeah, it's fine, I guess. I've got plenty of other things to read in the meantime. And then we have another science fiction thing, partly inspired by Dune. We have the novelization of Star Wars: A New Hope. It's credited to George Lucas. George Lucas didn't write this. Andy Foster did. Ghost wrote it, and Lucas got credit as the author. This is quite a nice hardback copy, which was done for I think it was the 40th anniversary. Yeah, 40th anniversary, so 2017. And this novelization, I wanted to read it because it was actually the first ever bit of Star Wars merchandise. It actually came out 6 months before the film did, which just seems outrageous now because in the internet now, if the novelization came out, like you could just read it and it would spoil everything. But this came out well before the film did, and it was the first bit of Star Wars merchandise. And as a fan, I was kind of interested in it, and this looked like a nice copy. And especially, it's got my favorite. I prefer this version of the poster. There's 2 versions. There was this one. I can't remember. I think I can't remember the artist's name, but he did this one, and then close at the time the movie came out, another artist did the same image, but redid it to have Mark Hamill and Carrie Fisher's likenesses because this doesn't look anything like them, but it's the same image basically. And yeah, got my book, shiny. So yeah, haven't read that yet. Looking forward to it. I've seen the film obviously, but I'm looking forward to reading the book, seeing what's different. Something that was kind of cool about novelizations back in the day was they were based on the script rather than the finished film. So you would sometimes get deleted scenes that weren't, back then when home video, was in its infancy in the cinema. So you didn't see deleted scenes. So it's kind of cool if you read the book, you get to read them and see, oh, there's a bit that's not in the film. Now, when they release a novelization, never has that. So it's just anything like that gets cut out by the editors because they're like, well, that's not in the finished film. And it's like, well, that's one of the only things that makes them worth reading. Because now it's like, well, now a film comes out like streaming or something a few months after it's in the cinemas. There's no point buying the book because back then it was like you bought the book because there wasn't video. There wasn't around, and then when it was around, it was expensive. You bought the book so you could experience the story again. Now you don't have that. You don't have the extra stuff that's not in the film. So it's just reading it in prose form, which if you want to do that, fine. But it's pointless now. So yeah. And lastly, we have another book, a comic book. We have the Simpsons comics. Simpsons Comics Colossal Compendium Volume 2. I used to read the Simpsons comics. I found some old comics of mine in like the loft or something, and there were a few Simpsons issues. And so I used to read these when I was a kid, and I was in. I think I had someone had given us some money or something. Like, and I was in W.H. Smith, and I saw this, and I thought, well, I'll get this because it was about the. I think it was about the 10 quid. It was 10 quid, and I thought, well, I'll just get use the 10 quid on this because I used to love reading these. So yeah, I love The Simpsons. I prefer the older episodes though. I don't think it was as good. I mean, I think that, well, everyone agrees that it's not as good as it was at the time back in the day, like in the 90s. It's gone downhill. You know what? They still make. I mean, surely they've got plenty of enough episodes where they could just make money from just rerunning them all the time. You know, like did they really? I don't see the point. There's so many episodes you don't need. You know, there's well more than enough for like syndication and streaming and that for people to watch and for the people to make money and that. So I just don't see the point of them still making. They're clearly running out of ideas too. So, they ran out of ideas a long time ago. It's just lazy now. But yeah, sometimes this is a reminder of back when The Simpsons was good. So right. I didn't expect this video to go on so long. I can waffle on a bit, can't I? Yes, so you can see why I didn't want to do one earlier, because I had so much stuff. I had way more than this, and this is an hour and 20 minutes, so yeah, probably gonna do these more frequently so that the videos don't end up being so long. And yeah, so thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.
April Fool's, motherfucker! Woo! Shout out to Phil for letting me use the video. Next video will be, I don't know, don't care. Bye.